Look, I'm going to be honest with you. I've spent weeks deep diving into air compressors, and one thing has become painfully clear. Most people buy the wrong one. Not because the compressors are bad, but because they pick power when they need quiet, or they pick quiet when what they actually need is fast recovery. And then the frustration kicks in. So today I've got 7 of the best air compressors available in Europe, each one built for a very specific type of user. All the links are down in the description. Stick around till the end, because the summary is going to make your decision ridiculously easy. We're starting with the ABAC Ease Air, and there's a very specific reason for that. 59 decibels. That's quieter than the background hum of an office. It comes in 2 sizes, 24 liters and 50 liters, but here's something a lot of people miss. Both versions run the exact same 1 horsepower motor. The bigger tank doesn't give you more power, it gives you more stored air. That's it. Think of it like having a bigger water bottle but the same tap. So who is this really for? Precision work where noise would ruin everything. Picture this. You're fitting skirting boards with a brad nailer in a client's living room at 8 in the morning, their kid is asleep next door, and this compressor doesn't even register. Oil-free, so the air comes out clean for airbrushing or blowing dust off sensitive electronics without any contamination risk. Now here's a human error that keeps happening with this machine. Because it's so quiet, people forget it's still running and never drain the tank afterwards. Moisture builds up inside, rust forms, and within a couple of years the tank is done. Always open that drain valve when you finish. 10 seconds that save you a very expensive headache. Now we flip the script entirely. The Viver 24-liter is the polar opposite of the ABAC in philosophy. This one is all about raw muscle. 1450 watts, basically 2 horsepower, and a pressure recovery speed that makes any 1 horsepower compressor look sluggish. 70 decibels, which sounds like a lot, but it's roughly the level of a household vacuum. In a garage with music playing, you barely notice it. Hook up an air ratchet or a spray gun and this thing just keeps delivering. Here's what makes it interesting though. The Viver has the heart of a professional compressor wrapped in a budget-friendly shell. The factory quick connect fittings and regulator are on the basic side, and the pressure switch sits a bit high, which means the 40-amp fuse can blow before the switch cuts out. But spend a small amount upgrading the fittings, drop the pressure switch down to a 70 to 100 psi range, and you've got a machine that performs like units costing 3 times as much. This is the Tinkerer's compressor. If getting your hands dirty with small upgrades isn't your thing, keep listening. Because the Haichika 24-liter exists precisely for the person who just thought, I just want to plug it in and go. 1100 watts, 68 decibels, and 0 nasty surprises. It won't win any awards for extreme power or absolute silence, but it nails that sweet spot that 80% of people actually need. Sunday morning, 7 a.m., long family road trip ahead, 4 tires to inflate before you leave. The Haichika gets it done fast, without waking the neighbors and without tripping your home circuit breaker. The wheels and ergonomic handle make a real difference when you're dragging it around the garage, even over rough ground. Compared to the Vivor, you lose that savage power, but you gain total peace of mind. Nothing to modify, no pressure switches to understand, no fuses blowing. Plug in and work. For heavy orbital sanding or big pneumatic grinders, it runs a bit short on sustained airflow, but for nailers, inflation, and light spray jobs, it simply delivers without any fuss. Now let's talk about a problem that has nothing to do with power or noise: space. The FIAC Super Silent 50V solves it in a way I think is genuinely clever. 50-liter tank mounted vertically. It takes up about the same floor space as a carry-on suitcase, but gives you a massive air reserve. 58 decibels, which is actually a touch quieter than the ABAC. You can hold a phone conversation standing right next to it without raising your voice. But there's something about this design that I particularly like and nobody talks about. Because it's vertical, all the condensation drops straight down by gravity to the drain valve at the very bottom. With horizontal compressors, you're kneeling on a dirty workshop floor, reaching under a dusty tank trying to twist a stubborn valve. Here, you just open it standing up. Seems minor, but in practice it means you'll actually drain the tank after every session, and that adds years to its life. Same 1 horsepower motor as the ABAC, so pressure recovery is unhurried. For workshops where focus matters, guitar building, cabinet making, furniture restoration, it's a tool that works alongside you without breaking your concentration. And now we get to the one that genuinely blows me away. The Hyundai HYAC52S did something that sounds obvious, but almost no manufacturer bothers with: 2 motors instead of 1. 2 independent pump heads at 750 watts each, 1500 watts total, filling a 50-liter tank. The advantage isn't just speed, though the recovery is phenomenal compared to any single motor unit. It's that each motor runs at half effort, generates less heat, wears down slower, and the whole machine lasts longer as a result. Measured with a sound level meter, it sits between 58 and 62 decibels. A cordless drill is louder than that, just to put it in perspective. Build quality is genuinely premium. Braided hoses, high visibility gauges, baked on paint finish that doesn't flake over time. The factory power cable is annoyingly short, so you'll need a decent extension lead, and the wheels need shimming with a couple of washers to stop them wobbling. But we're talking 5 minutes with a spanner. Put this Hyundai next to the Fiat 50V and both are quiet with 50 liters of capacity, but the Hyundai recovers pressure in half the time. For a serious workshop where you need air on demand, it's a completely different league. Right? What if silence isn't your priority and what you actually need is brute force? The ABAC Ease Air 50V at 10 bar is the answer, and it doesn't mess about. 2 horsepower motor, maximum pressure of 10 bar, and here's the key number. At 10 bar, you store roughly 25% more usable air than at 8. That means a half-inch impact wrench keeps working longer before the pressure drops and you're left waiting. 97 decibels though. Hearing protection, no arguments. It's vertical, so it keeps a small footprint despite all that aggression. This compressor isn't for your home garage on a Saturday morning. It's for the mechanic's workshop, the agricultural shed, anywhere you need to crack rusted bolts and seat heavy tires without the machine falling short. And I'm closing with something completely different. The Fiat Super Silent 10 is a 10-liter compressor you can literally carry with one hand. 1 horsepower motor, 58 decibels, and it fills up almost instantly because the tank is tiny. Oil-free, so it doesn't matter how you transport it, on its side, upside down, tossed in the boot of your car between shopping bags. Think about the IT technician who needs to blow out server racks in a quiet office full of people working, or someone running a small airbrush setup in a flat where noise is out of the question. This compressor removes every excuse not to start a quick job. It's so small and so quiet that you'll use it for 30-second tasks you'd never bother dragging out a full-size compressor for. For tools that draw air continuously, it runs out of reserve fast, but for pin nailers, quick inflation and airbrushing it more than delivers. Alright, quick summary so you know exactly where you stand. If absolute silence is non-negotiable and you work with nailers or airbrush, the ABAC Ease Air 24-liter is a rock-solid choice. Workshop-level power on a tight budget and you don't mind a couple of upgrades, go Vivor without hesitation. You want zero-hassle plug-and-play reliability, the Hachika nails the balance. Tight on space but need 50 liters of reserve, the vertical Fiat. If your workshop is your life and you need silence with real performance, the twin-motor Hyundai has no competition in its class. Heavy industrial jobs where noise is irrelevant, the 10-bar ABAC. And if portability comes first, the little Fiat 10-liter goes wherever you go. All the links are in the description. If this helped you out, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.